Hello, this is Zach with MagicGatheringStrat.com. This is round one of a standard daily with Mono Green Devotion. We 1-2'd the previous one. Sadly, the recording software I used crashed during the third round. And here we are with round one of the next standard daily. We're against Mono Blue Devotion, most likely. Could be one of those in Soul Artifact brews that's been starting to run around, but far, 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 far more likely is Mono Blue Devotion, which is a rough matchup. Like, Tidebinder here is ridiculous versus us. Yep, he has it. We're going to take one. It's actually the reason I put this deck down the last time I was playing it, was because the Mono Blue Devotion matchup is just so rough. Largely, I've chosen to try to ignore it. Setessan Tactics is our best card against them, but it's really only that stellar versus them. So I'm just not running Setessan Tactics right now because Mono Blue Devotion has lately been on the downswing. If he has a Master next turn, there's just nothing we can do. Luckily, Courser slows down a lot of his aggro. Our only out to Master main deck is Polukranos, which isn't on the top of our deck, so if he has it, we're dead. Okay, he has Bident of Thassa. Much more manageable for us. We'll see if he's willing to suicide. He's not. Him not having on Master on 4 gives us some chance of winning this game. Next turn we have a Garruk, or we can Genesis Hydra for a largish amount. 5, 6, 7, 7, 5 for 5, which could hit us a Polukranos. It's most likely better just a Garruk, depending on what the top of our deck is. If the top card of our deck next turn is Polukranos, we'll just Genesis Hydra for 5. If we were planning to do that, I definitely should have played Nykthos this turn. If he wants to pump the Frostburn Weird 3 times, he can. Okay. Obviously wasn't going to pump it 3 times. Hopefully didn't draw Master still. Okay. We're still in a fine position here. Because Elvish Mystics are mana neutral when you're activating Shrine of Nykthos, we can afford to just cast both of them. We're going to give him a target that isn't us to hit with this Garruk. Okay. Some lists play main deck Dissolve. I was somewhat worried about it, but I've not seen a main deck Dissolve in Mono Blue in quite a while. Caryatid, Burning Tree Emissary. Alright, that's a good hit. He might activate Bident here, which would be unfortunate for us. Looks like he is. I think we're actually just going to say race off or accepted as far as clocks go here. I mean card advantage accepted. So if he wants to just bash back at us, he can. Looks like a Judge's Familiar. Oh, no, Mutavault animation. So this turn, if he just swings all out, we're taking 3, 5, 6 at a minimum. He clearly doesn't have another creature in hand, or else he would have evolved Cloudfin Raptor. We aren't blocking with our Elvish Mystics. He wants to draw 4, he can draw 4. Yep, it's all coming at us. We'll take it. So now the fear is... We'd actually... Whoa, God. His own Nykthos? Well, we'll see what he's gonna do. 8 mana. Okay. Do your worst. Sadly, 8 mana still leaves Rapid Hybridization up, which leaves us unable to Polukranos eat his board, which is probably why he feels safe tapping this low. So then the question is, can we actually afford to play around that? And I feel like, sadly, the answer to that question is no. Alright, and our Tidebinder. Yeah, I feel like we just have to dig for Polukranos and cast a Polukranos. Come on. Ah, Thassa. Ugh, Thassa. Draw for turn. It's not what we want to see on the top of our deck. We're going to main phase Garruk before playing a land, hoping to hit our Nykthos. Alright, those were duds. It's basically a dud. So, cast Burning Tree Emissary. Add mana. So the issue is we actually need to just straight up hit Polukranos this turn with enough mana to turn off Devotion. Turning off Devotion requires 4... Yeah, we can't produce enough mana this turn to do it. We needed to hit Polukranos. We're still gonna try to hit a Polukranos in the top 4. So now what we need to do is we need to hit a Polukranos in the top 4 and have the top cover our deck be Nykthos, and I'm still not even sure if that's enough mana. Alright, we are at least going to be somewhat mana efficient being able to hit Burning Tree Emissary. So we can try again. Forest on top still isn't helpful. One less than how much we just did it for. Maybe we'll hit a Polukranos this time? Nope. And we have a land on top of our deck. Yeah, we lost this one. On to game 2. We want the Reclamation Sages, all 4 Mistcutters, Polukranos. Disciple can go, Nylea can go, Soul can go. Some number of Garruks can go. Let's just get rid of all the Garruks. And Hornet Queen can go. Cards are still on our board that we kind of want right now. I don't think this is a matchup for Chord, considering the main card we want to get with Chord is Mistcutter Hydra, in essence. But you can't get Mistcutter with Chord. So I think we're just going to board some... The issue is they just... Like, they don't kill us by Xaxes, generally. But... I'm going to try... Now let's just keep 2 Garruks in. Yeah. You can't mulligan a hand like this. We're immune to Mistcutter Hydra, which is really important. I mean, Tidebinder Mage. Like, Tidebinder Mage is a one card that makes this deck just a real problem matchup for us. Like, I think if they just had a blue-blue bear instead of Tidebinder Mage, we would actually be in a very good spot in this matchup. But they have Tidebinder Mage. Like, if he Tidebinders us here on 2 and taps Elvish Mystic, we get actually slowed down a significant amount here. He might tap Courser, though. Okay, yeah. Wishful thinking. Land? Oh, there's a Mistcutter. Okay. Plan's starting to come together. Because we have Mistcutter, I think we actually are going to assume the role of the aggro deck. Now, Mistcutters give us such an inevitability. I think we still just want to hold back our Courser and stop him from being able to attack for 2. Thassa's fine. Just gonna play this land off the top. Mistcutter for 3 is actually the exact number you don't want a Mistcutter for, because then it still gets hit by Rapid Hybridization. Because they can Rapid Hybridize their own guy, and then block. Hopefully he doesn't have an R2 mana devotion spell or 3 mana. It's very unlikely. What we want to do next turn is draw the Sylvan Caryatid, reveal a Nykthos off the top of our deck, and go crazy. Just make a Mistcutter for huge. That's 1 devotion. And that's 2 devotion. He got there. So he's got us on a clock. Alright. So we're going to Eidolon here. We're going to draw 2. Play out this land. We're actually going to swing with one of our Eidolons. But he still hasn't found Mutavault, which is really nice for us. Because Mutavault will basically buy him 8 life. Most likely with how big we're going to be casting Hydra for. We're not actually under too terribly much pressure. Like if we get 2 Coursers out, we're taking 3 a turn. I wish we actually had a way of dealing with Thassa. But the only way of dealing with Thassa is Polukranoscien's board, which is really difficult. He could have Domestication here. Okay, Nightveil Spectre. That's fine. We're going to take 8. Go to 10. Pretty sure we're facing lethal next turn. Let's see if we can hit one. Come on, Nykthos. There we go. So it's a Mistcutter for 8. Oh, and we're exactly dead on board. Yeah, he just makes Thassa, Tidebinder, unblockable. That's exactly 12. That sucks. We'll see if he sees it. Yep. That happens. Alright, join me next round for round 2.